we would like to extend a warm greeting to all of you, whether you are brothers or sisters in Christ. Recent events have led the former Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano to reveal startling truths and make serious accusations against the Pope and the Catholic Church. Vigano, one of the most influential and contentious figures in the contemporary ecclesiastical milieu, is renowned for his sharp criticisms and staunchly orthodox stances. Most recently, Carlo Maria Vigano participated as a guest in an interview that was conducted by Taylor Marshall. In this exclusive interview, Vigano discusses a wide range of themes that are quite pertinent to the matter at hand. These topics include his recent excommunication, the mysteries associated with the third secret of Fatima, the crisis of faith within the Church, and a great deal of other topics. However, before delving into the specifics of the interview's contents, it is necessary to have a solid understanding of the major individuals that were part of this conversation. Dr. Taylor Marshall is a well-known figure in the conservative Catholic community. He is known for tackling delicate matters that pertain to the Church, and he is also known for being a podcaster and author of books. The Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, on the other hand, is one of the most critical voices against Pope Francis. He is frequently accused of representing a traditionalist faction that stands in contrast to the Pope and the progressive current that is currently leading the Church. Vigano, who was recently excommunicated by Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, prefect of the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, on grounds of schism, is the subject of this conversation, which takes place at a particularly crucial moment for him. An accusation of this nature has been categorically refuted by Vigano the individual. Now, in this setting, we are able to investigate the primary topics that were discussed during the interview. Concerning the numerous charges that Vigano has made over the course of the years, one of the first things that is discussed is the matter. By virtue of his position as the former Secretary General of the government of Vatican City, which he held from 2009 until 2011, Vigano was privy to a multitude of financial secrets and scandals that occurred within the Church. He was the one who brought to light the anomalies that occurred in the handling of funds by the Vatican Bank, and brought attention to the fact that, despite his attempts to establish openness, large numbers of individuals who were involved in corrupt practices have been protected. Cardinal Theodore McCarrick is accused of sexually abusing adolescents and young seminarians, making this one of the most serious cases that has ever been brought against him. As a result of Vigano's revelation, it was discovered that Pope Francis would have withdrawn the penalties that Pope Benedict XVI had set on McCarrick, so allowing McCarrick to continue his activities. As a result of this controversy, Vigano made a public demand for the resignation of the Pope in the year 2018, which was an unusual event in the recent history of the Church. The recent excommunication of Carlo Maria Vigano, which was announced on July 5, 2024, is another important issue that is discussed throughout the discussion. Despite the fact that this excommunication, which is characterized as Lazzi Sentenzae, which means imposed automatically, has been justified by an alleged act of schism, Vigano vehemently rejects this accusation, arguing that he does not find himself in a state of schism at all. Furthermore, Vigano elucidated that the notification of the excommunication was transmitted through a straightforward electronic message, without any formal canonical procedure being followed. He was only given 9 days to either appear in Rome or submit a written defense, which was a very short amount of time to attempt to defend himself. According to him, this attitude is not only rare but also unfair, and he likens the situation to receiving a parking ticket. Vigano is of the opinion that the allegations made against him are without merit and constitute an effort to stifle his critical voice. Last but not least, the so-called third secret of Fatima was one of the most contentious subjects that was brought up during the interview discussions. Vigano raises questions regarding the completeness and accuracy of the version that was made public, despite the fact that the official version states that this secret was disclosed in the year 2000. He asserts that the content that has been accessible to the public has been changed or even restricted, and he contends that the genuine message of Our Lady of Fatima is about the internal crisis that is occurring inside the Church, as well as the dangers that are resulting from the reforms that were implemented by the Second Vatican Council. Vigano places a strong emphasis on the fact that the Third Secret contains a severe critique of the path that the Church took during the 20th century, notably with regard to liturgical innovations. According to his understanding, the decision to withhold the secret in its entirety was made with the intention of concealing the truth and safeguarding the decisions that were made by the leaders of the Church following the Council. The Tridentine Mass, which Vigano regards to be a precious treasure for the Catholic Church, is another significant topic that is discussed in the interview between the two sources. According to him, the preconciliar rite is a symbol of the holiness of the Catholic faith, and the prohibition of it, which was created by the document Traditionis Custodes written by Pope Francis, is seen to be a significant abuse of power. Vigano has strongly advocated for priests and bishops to continue celebrating the traditional Mass, even if it means facing ecclesiastical sanctions. He is of the belief that adherence to tradition should take precedence over allegiance to an authority that, in his opinion, betrays the mission of the Church. The lay faithful were encouraged to provide material support to the priests who were willing to conduct the Tridentine Mass. Additionally, they were encouraged to organize themselves into smaller communities, to purchase churches that were available for purchase, or to construct home chapels where they might continue to celebrate the ancient liturgy. Last but not least, the interview delves into the topic of the crisis of faith that is occurring within the Church. According to Vigano, the current ecclesiastical authority has forsaken the essential values of Catholicism, falling to a moral and spiritual corruption that spreads far beyond the Vatican, reaching the highest echelons of global power. He claims that Pope Francis is a counterpope and a usurper, and that he is inspired by anti-Catholic forces who have been infiltrating the Church for decades. According to Vigano, this problem cannot be overcome without a return to the initial purity of the religion and the traditions that have been passed down through the generations. According to his conception, the Church is an institution that must be able to withstand the effect of modernity and other external factors that are attempting to transform it. It is clear that Vigano is deeply concerned about the way the Church is currently heading, despite the fact that his ideas are contentious. He encourages all Catholics to undergo a profound spiritual transformation, which is founded on the rediscovery of traditional liturgy and a strict adherence to the values that the Church has established. The interview between Taylor Marshall and Carlo Maria Vigano represents a significant contribution to the contemporary debate within the Catholic Church. Vigano's positions, although controversial, reflect a deep concern about the current direction of the Church. His call for a return to tradition, to the Tridentine Mass, and to fidelity to the fundamental principles of Catholicism constitutes an open challenge to the current leadership and to the changes implemented over the past few decades.